I think that the subject matter that this movie is covering is ultimately timeless, and will I look forward to the day that it's not relevant. My name is Shaka King. I am the co-writer, director, and one of the producers of Judas and the Black Messiah, one of AFI's top 10 films of 2020, even though we came out in 2021. So this is the first time you see William O'Neill's apartment. The shot is just one of my favorites in the film. I really love how the sort of silhouette nature, it does give him a sort of lonesome, lonely feel. It's really one of the few scenes in which you get a real clear sense of sort of his socioeconomic status and where he's at, and then you see where he goes and you see how he reacts to how Roy Mitchell lives.
Come on in, make yourself at home in the den. This is Samantha.
In this clip, he talks about how, Roy Mitchell was a hero to him.
What made you think you could trust Roy Mitchell?
I rode around in his car. I had dinner with him at his dinner table. He was, at one point for me, he was like a role model.
And I think a lot of times people think you're going to come out of this clip and Roy Mitchell is going to say something that, is heroic or, inspiring or at least that hooks O'Neill, that interests O'Neill. And instead, Mitchell comes out and he talks about a story about sort of him being on the right side of history.
I investigated the Schwerner Cheney Goodman murders down in Mississippi in '64. You familiar? Well, a couple kids was trying to register Negroes to vote. That's all they were doing. They got arrested on bogus speeding charges by the sheriff's deputy who hand-delivered them to the Klan. They shot him, of course. Cut off Cheney's penis. This, what you and I are doing, is,
Right.
is the other side of that coin. Don't let Hampton fool you. The Panthers and the Klan are one and the same. Their aim is to sow hatred and inspire terror. Plain and simple. Now, I'm all for civil rights, but you can't cheat your way to equality.
Mitchell is trying to get inside the head of his sentinel. He's trying to appeal to him on a sort of moral political level. He actually believes that the Panthers and the Klan are one and the same and he's on the right side of history here. But O'Neill could give a fuck, And what I love is that at the end of all of that, and it's very obvious that O'Neill is completely disinterested and none of this has landed, that, he's like, hey, let's get to the real heart of the matter. Like, how'd you get all this stuff? And how do I get this stuff?
Hey, how much money you make, man?
It's living.
So if I get you like some good information, something nobody else know, is there some kind of bonus or something?
Well, I'm counting on it, Bill. But to answer your question, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
And what I love about this scene and what was very intentional, it's a real clear sense of O'Neill's motivation and a real clear sense of what O'Neill found in Mitchell that made him a father figure. In a lot of ways, William O'Neill and Fred Hampton both want power and freedom. They just have very different definitions of what those two things are. Fred Hampton, he sees power as people having equity, liberty, justice, these ideals that are often referred to as American ideals, but are really only, given lip service to by this country, largely. Those were ideals that Fred Hampton actually believed in and fought for and ultimately died for. And I think that William O'Neill, conversely, his definition is more in line with what this country actually thinks power and freedom are, which is, capital, access to wealth. In a lot of ways, this movie is about those two different viewpoints and how these two individuals pursuing them, what that leads to. I think that the subject matter that this movie is covering is ultimately timeless, and will I look forward to the day that it's not relevant. We might experience cosmetic change in this country, but you know, just that sort of those surface level shifts, they don't really address the systemic ills um, that are really foundational to American apartheid.